And I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. It's your favorite homegirl, E. Reed, your favorite host who loves to smile the most. I'm back, y'all. And you know what? I want y'all to sit back, relax, turn it up, and check this out. And I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. It's your favorite host who loves to smile the most. It's Eve Reed right here on Reality Radio. And this is Reality Radio Presents Binge and Rewind. And today, y'all, I'm talking to y'all about Married to Medicine, the reunion. I know this is a late one, a late review, but this is a binge rewind episode. So that's okay. Just binge and rewind it. Okay. But this is the review. And actually, the review just the reunion just finally ended this past Sunday. So I think it was this past Sunday. Or maybe I think it was this past Sunday. It might have been the Sunday before. However, the point is that it was a 4-part reunion, and one Sunday was actually 2 hours straight. All right. So the way I figured it from watching all these different Bravo reunions and Love and Hip Hop reunions and Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion, what I've learned in watching the reunions is I'ma just wait to do a review at the end of it, because sometimes the reaction that you would want to have, or that you feel like you should have based on the editing and how they recap everything, it makes you want to have a reaction in that moment. But then, and that could be in like part 1, and then by part 2 or 3, there's been some kind of resolve. So then that means all that emotion you had at the time, at one point was for naught. It's just, I don't got that kind of time and energy. So, I didn't want to do a review for each one of the reunion episodes, but I did want to do a recap of the whole reunion itself, beginning with the ladies' looks. So let me pull this up, all right? Now, the ladies' looks were definitely interesting, and I watched Dr. Heavenly and Mariah's reviews on the reunion, and which I enjoyed very much so, especially Dr. Heavenly's, because she did hers with Funky Dineva, who is a popular YouTuber. So it was funny, okay? Like, Heavenly is something else. Now, the looks were definitely color schemed oriented, okay? So it looks like, except with the exception of Mariah, who just had to stand out in this picture wearing all pink. This picture, you can see the full cast in their gowns, and even the men taking a picture all together on Dr. Heavenly's Instagram page, because this is where I got it from. And from left to right, I'm gonna go from left to right based on the picture. So you starting off with Aiden and Mariah. Aiden and Mariah definitely were color schemed together as a couple. However, they weren't color schemed. Well, Mariah wasn't color schemed with the group. Okay. And so I didn't appreciate her wearing something all pink. If she would have worn something black with maybe like a trim of pink, because I know she believes in having a pop of color, I think that would have been a little bit better. But I don't feel like she needed to be the pop of color amongst the entire group. Okay. Moving on to the next couple. The next lovely couple we have coming up is Dr. Simone and Cecil. And Dr. Simone has a lovely gray with a black trim tuxedo suit on, feminine women's cut, and it's really cute. And it looks like she has on a black bustier, to bring the girls up a little bit. All right. And then Cecil, he has on a very nice tuxedo like jacket and black slacks on. So they definitely complement each other, and I think that looked really good on Dr. Simone too. And next coming up, we got Eugene and Toya. And Toya is wearing an animal print gown. I believe that's leopard print. Shout out to Lady Flavor, because she loves her some leopard, okay, honey? And Eugene is wearing an all black suit, or, shirt and jacket with some slacks, Probably it looked like something you would wear to the office. That's what he's wearing. And then next up you have Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon. Okay, Dr. Damon is wearing a navy blue suit. It looks like there is a checkered cut, like a checkered print on it. That's what it kind of looks like in this picture. And then Dr. Heavenly has on like what looks like a satin material or satin-like material black dress on with a few feathers up there, where the girls is hanging at. She's got her shoulders out, honey. Her shoulders is out. And then we have the most poised and most self-controlled out the group, Dr. Jackie and her husband Curtis. And Dr. Jackie has on, you know what? I couldn't really tell what Dr. Jackie had on. I feel like it's something that fits her style and personality though, because it's different. I don't think you've seen this much before, and I can't tell if it's a two-piece or it's just one dress and then she put a jacket over it. But the side of the dress, it's not a split, but it is sheer, and it's very pretty. It's very pretty, and I think it was nice. And her hair was really pretty too. Whoever did her hair did an amazing job because it was very form-fitting to her face. Sometimes they be putting bangs on the women, and when the women, flash their eyes with their eyelashes extensions and stuff. Not to say Dr. Jackie had on some, but she probably did. But and then their eyelashes be messing with the bangs, and that didn't happen for Dr. Jackie. And I'm glad whoever did her hair and makeup did a bang up job. Now, speaking of makeup and bang up jobs, y'all know y'all was wrong for what y'all did to Contessa, because everything about her look was on point except for them bottom row lashes. Y'all could have left that alone. I will say that. The hair and makeup team, when it came to Contessa, y'all was wrong for that. I don't know. To me, she looked like she was looking like a sad clown. Not that she was a clown, but like, how you can put something on and it changes the whole look of what it looks like. You know what I mean? Like you got an outfit idea in your head and you put it on, but then when you see it all together, it don't look right. So then you take something off and then it look better. That's what they should have did with Dr. Contessa and them bottom lashes, because it just didn't look right. But her dress was pretty. It was definitely pretty. It was a shimmery, shiny, silver and white gown with the shoulders out, and what looked like supposed to be like a scarf like attached to the dress, like it was all one piece. You know what I mean? Like it was really pretty, and her hair was amazing too. And then her husband, Dr. Scott, he had on what looked like a shimmery blue suit with a black shirt, black button up. And then Quad, we cannot forget Quad, okay, honey? Miss Quad is coming in with a long, it's one of those long jackets, and it is shiny and shimmery and sparkly as all get out, okay? And then she has the pants to match. So we of course know that came as a set. And then she wore a black bustier as well, and she had her hair straight. So everybody's hair and makeup was pretty, for the most part, pretty good. The only thing that I didn't like was Mariah wearing her pink dress and the eyelashes on Dr. Contessa. Other than that, it was all good to me. I liked it. I appreciated it. Now, let me go ahead and move forward because we are already 8 minutes in. And let me go ahead. I'm going to run this down. Now, I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of detail on who he said, she said, and they said this and this what happened. I'm not going to do all of that. I'm going to go through each couple, tell you what they talked about and what was the main focus of the reunion based on this couple. And then that's it. That's all I'm doing. Okay? So let's start with Mariah and Aiden. All right. So Mariah, her whole storyline was the beef with Quad and the drug accusation that Quad had against her that she had stated, I believe last year it was. And, Mariah and her sister, said that Quad had slept with Lake's husband. So there was that whole beef. That was the main part of her storyline. And then when she was confronted about, talking mess about Quad at the Ramadan dinner around the family and everything, like Mariah just kept saying she didn't say that. And she said she didn't do that. She didn't say anything. And then she changed her story and then she said she shut down the conversation, but I agree with everybody else. She was gaslighting the conversation. And so basically she said on camera, like, we ain't going to talk about Quad right now because we with family and it's a religious holiday, but we gonna talk about it later. Like, I just thought that was super shady. Like, and you know, she's Mariah suffers from shady memory loss, the same thing Eva suffers from. And I said that on Twitter the other day too. Like, she suffers from shady memory loss. Like, you say something in the heat of the moment, and then when you're confronted with it, you want to deny it. And what was so interesting is that they caught it on camera and then they played it back. So I'm curious to see Mariah's reaction to when they played it back in this last episode, because I think the review that I saw of Mariah's was from episode the part 1 of the reunion. And Mariah doesn't interest me like that. Like, she's not fascinating. The way she is on camera is super boring and so I don't even think I went and watched through the whole video. Now, Dr. Heavenly, she's entertaining. You know, she's entertaining for the most part. And she goes through things quickly. But Mariah, I just can't deal with someone's energy like Mariah. And watching her on my own time on YouTube. It's one thing when it's scheduled on there on Bravo. It's another thing when I'm actually choosing to go out my way to find you on YouTube and watch the video. That's completely different. At least it is to me. I don't know. You let me know in the comments what you think. Is that different or is it the same? I don't know. So yeah, so then there was the big deal about the talking about her on Ramadan, and of course there was actually no actual resolve between her and Quad. They kind of just like, you know, just punt, you know, fist, what is it? Fist pump? No, fist bump. They just bumped gloves with each other and said, okay, I'm gonna go to my corner, you go to your corner, kind of a thing. You know, that's basically what happened between her and Quad. And I'm a segue over to Quad in a minute, and because Quad didn't really have a lot going on. But so Mariah and Quad don't have no resolve or anything like that. And then the other thing that they talked about when dealing with Quad, or that was actually, you know, part of her storyline this season, is when she broke her toe again when she was in Cabo. Because when they were in Cabo all together and everybody else was leaving, her and Aiden stayed an extra couple of days. And one of those days while they were still there in Cabo, she had broke her toe. Other than that, that was all there was when it came to Mariah. You know, if it wasn't for Quad and her sister Lake, Mariah wouldn't have a storyline, because Mariah don't do nothing. I'm just saying. I have yet to know what Mariah does. Like, what do you do? I don't know. So, segue over to Quad, okay? Quad is finally divorced from Dr. Greg, and she was set up by Heavenly after the divorce, or in finalizing the divorce. She was set up by Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Heavenly's friends, and from Dr. Heavenly's friends. No, I did not say that right. She was set up by Dr. Heavenly from friends of hers. Or Dr. Heavenly set up with some of her friends. Y'all know what I'm trying to say, and I'm stumbling over my words, but this is Reality Radio, and I've been doing a lot of reviews, so I probably got like mush brain right now, but I want to get through this because I had recorded this before, but when I was listening to the playback, I did not sound right. And then when I forgot some things that I actually wanted to say, so I just decided to delete that one and just do a whole new fresh one, so that it could make sense. I needed to make sense. Make it make sense, E. Just make it make sense, E. So, here we are, and she's finally divorced. She gets set up with some of Dr. Heavenly's friends. She still has, we just got through talking about the beef with Mariah. And here's the interesting thing when it comes to finishing talking about Mariah and Quad. Because after I talk about this, I ain't talking about them no more. Okay? Mariah, nobody in the group believes Mariah about Quad sleeping with her sister Lake's husband, okay? But nobody believes Quad when it comes to Mariah doing drugs, doing powder, okay? And both of them are adamant about saying that the other one is, guilty of the accusation that they're being accused of, but nobody in the group believes it, and it's just gotten to a point where it's at a stalemate. Like, nobody cares. So yeah, but what I did find interesting is that Quad still wanted to have the last laugh. Like, Quad is Miss Petty Boots for real, honey. Like, she is Miss Petty Boots, because even though nobody believes them or anything like that, Quad actually said, sitting up there on the stage, that she doesn't want to spill more tea, and she don't want to be put in a position where she has to. Okay, so maybe Mariah wants to keep poking the bear so she can keep being a part of the show in front of the screen, because from what I understand, she's a part of the show behind the scenes. And so if that's the case, a beef with Quad is going to be perfect, especially since Quad is, and Quad would definitely need a storyline too. If that's the case and she no longer married to a doctor, she's officially, it says the show is called Married to Medicine. I'm just saying. So that's the deal with Quad and Mariah. So, now, and like I said, Dr. Heavenly had hooked her up. And it's so funny how Dr. Heavenly is going to hook her up and got all this insight about men and everything. But yet when it come to her man, she was all upset. Yeah, we going to just go ahead and move on over to Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon. So Dr. Heavenly, she went to Toya's birthday party, and Toya had a bunch of strippers there or whatever for this little sip and paint or whatever it was supposed to be. And so one of the strippers that picked up Heavenly, we all know what happened. And for y'all who don't watch Married to Medicine, they were at a birthday party. A stripper picked up Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Heavenly did, say put her down and everything like that. But Dr. Damon, her husband, does not like anybody to touch his wife. Okay, and vice versa goes for Dr. Heavenly, because when they went to Cabo, Dr. Damon went they went to a strip club, the guys did, and a whole bunch of women was crawling all over Dr. Damon, and Dr. Heavenly got upset. So they even Stevens on that. They tit for tat. Okay, that was the outcome. We know that the other one don't want nobody touching the other one. Okay, there we have it. The other thing with Dr. Heavenly, she was definitely reckless. I feel like she elevated herself with the recklessness and what she was saying out of her mouth. Like, I really do. I feel like, especially when she made that comment about Buffy, on the stage, and she called her a fat ass. I feel like it's one of those things, like, just in the moment, like it's like a firecracker. She just be firing off. But then she does kind of a come to Jesus moment sometime, But I think if it wasn't for her, of course, a lot of us probably wouldn't watch, because Dr. Heavenly is hilarious. She can be really funny, and sometimes her timing just do kind of be on point. I must say that. So yeah, it wasn't a lot with Dr. Heavenly this season. For the most part, but Dr. Heavenly gonna be Dr. Heavenly. And if you follow her on YouTube, and watch some of the reviews that she does, they're entertaining. It's definitely worth the watch. She is funny. And if you haven't watched it already, the review that she did with Funky Dineva, where Funky Dineva is basically like interviewing her in the comfort of her home, it's a good watch. Watch it. It's good seeing him interact with each other. And so, but like I said, she was being reckless with her mouth, and she said that, that statement to Buffy. And it was funny because people called her out for it or whatever, and I find it interesting and look forward to seeing what happens next season, if Buffy is going to hold that grudge against Heavenly next season and use that as a storyline, and how she's offended and upset the same way she did with Dr. Jackie this season. Because after everything came out and the truth came out and it was all explained, especially by Dr. Jackie, I'm moving over to Buffy now. What Dr. Jackie said to Buffy about, or not said to her, but said about her in that moment when she was giving her speech at her event, and she talked about Buffy being infertile. I feel like, I said this in my last review. I felt like Buffy was milking it. It was milking it for all that it was. And because I have so many questions, but I think I talked about that in my last review. So binge and rewind my last review when it comes to Married to Medicine. I think it's called Married to Medicine, the finale. But yeah, so Buffy, held a grudge with Dr. Jackie all season long about that one remark. So I would not put it past Buffy to hold a grudge against Dr. Heavenly, to create a storyline to have a beef with her all next season because of what she said about her, on TV about being a fat ass. The other thing about Buffy is that she did get an apology from Jackie again. Okay. Yeah, again, another apology. Like, how many apologies do you need to have to feel secure within yourself? Like, how many do you need? I'm just saying, because the rest of us are over it. But yet here you are, still wanting an apology. From the way it was edited and the way it was cut. Even Dr. Heavenly said this. And the way it was put together, it wasn't supposed to go in that direction. And I feel like because it was edited like that, went Buffy found an opportunity to challenge Dr. Jackie and her popularity and her, strong acceptance within the group of being the leader role. And I feel like because Dr. Jackie is a quiet alpha, you know what I mean? Because she's an alpha. Believe that. And I know some people don't believe in all the alpha, beta, and all like that, but you can't deny human nature. I'm just saying it might be twisted and turned around in certain elements depending on what context you use it in. But at the end of the day, there's always somebody that's more aggressive than there's somebody that's more passive. Like it's yin and yang. You know what I mean? So saying all that to say, Dr. Jackie is a quiet alpha, whereas Buffy is an aggressive, loud alpha. Look at her marriage. Her marriage is with a quiet man and a very peaceful looking man, versus her outrageousness and loudness and exuding all of this like wild carefree type of hippie vibe or whatever. But I have a lot of money. I don't know, I just feel some kind of way about Buffy. But anyway, so the fact that I'm going on too much about Buffy, but that's what it is. That was basically her storyline, and that's what they talked about on the reunion. And then she's not even an actual cast member, like she's just a friend. So when they were done talking about her, they booted her off. Okay, she was done, off the stage. That is, off the stage. So after getting the apology for Jackie, I was glad that Jackie did that again, so it could finally be put to rest. Because I think Jackie is over it by now. I'm moving over to Jackie now. I think Jackie is over it. She's got so many things going on. She's got all these businesses opening up. She's doing reconstruction on her house. Her and Cecil are in a good place, and they're trying to maintain that balance of being in a good place. And she just don't have time to keep entertaining all of these apologies and all these high-end emotions. Now, she does, say with sincerity that, due to her profession of who she is and what she's been through herself, she doesn't want to make Jackie feel any kind of way. And what I appreciate about Jackie is because she is a doctor first, or because she now looks at this situation as a doctor first, I feel like she used her bedside manner into dealing with Buffy, if that makes sense. So it didn't come from a personal level. It came from, a bedside manner so that Buffy could feel secure about, the relationship between them, or, association between them. I think that's what happened during the reunion. So, and I commend that. Now, the other thing that's going on with Dr. Jackie, she was going to go for 10 days. She took 10 days off, and she was going to go with Curtis. I keep wanting to call him Dr. Curtis, but go with Curtis, and they was gonna go to South of France, but they couldn't do it because, like I said, they were doing construction on the house, and they didn't have a roof at the time, which intervened with them going on their trip, so they had to postpone it, which is okay. Postpone is good. Canceling and not going at all, that's what I would be concerned about. So postponing, we're all for that. 2 thumbs up, keep it pushing. And that's what went on with Dr. Jackie. Now, the other thing that went on with Dr. Jackie is the fact that Dr. Jackie became really good friends with Heavenly. And mind you, all 3 of them are really good friends, but the bond became, I guess, a little bit stronger. And the bond between Dr. Heavenly and Simone, it kind of got a little rocky or whatever, and that's because Dr. Heavenly made some comments about Dr. Simone's husband Cecil, and it was just one of those things where Dr. Simone felt like Heavenly was attacking her husband, and Dr. Simone felt like she had to stick up for her husband and her family, and you're not gonna point fingers, and you got your own stuff going on. She didn't spill no tea, but she did say in the back room, like, we need to have a drag session. We need to air this out. We need to get over this. We need to talk this out. And so that's what ends up happening between Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie was caught in the middle, and she felt uncomfortable being caught in the middle because even though she's close and she has a close bond with both of them, with Dr. Simone, they do different activities than the activities that she does with Dr. Heavenly one-on-one. And they both missed that. They missed that about being with each other. Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie, they missed being able to study together and hang out with each other and all of that. And both of them, I think, were uncomfortable to be the first one to say, like, I feel like something's wrong. We need to work this out and fix it and talk about it. But they were able to do that, and we got to see that on TV, and I appreciate that too. I know I say that word appreciate a lot, but I really do, because there are certain things that we don't get to see so much on TV anymore. And the fact that Married to Medicine uses their platform to showcase positive things within Black couples, within Black friendships between Black women, and the bond between Black men, and how to be successful and how to be independent but dependent in a marriage, how to communicate. Like, there's all these positive elements to Married to Medicine that I'm glad that is on television, because I feel like this is the only show that showcases that much positivity with this many group of Black people, this many, for several seasons at a time. So there's definitely drama, there's definitely pettiness, there's definitely arguments, there's definitely messiness, but there's also at some point some resolve and some conflict resolution and communication. That's the big thing that I really noticed, especially when Cecil and I'm digressing now real quick, when Cecil and Simone were going to get divorced. Like, the group came together to help them not get a divorce. You know what I mean? So there's communication, there's a bond there, there's a love there. And there was a viewer that said something towards the end that sent in a comment that sums up their bond and their friendship. And she was absolutely right about their bond and friendship. And I appreciated how she was able to put that in a context and keep it simple, keep it short, but it was very on point. Very on point. So Dr. Jackie realizes that she got to be the one to step out and let Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Simone work this out, and come to a resolve on their own. And they definitely do, because then they end up hugging it out in the back to the point where they falling over. And then, of course, Quad, with her little goofy self, Quad just jumps on top of Dr. Simone and start riding her. Like, it was funny, silly times. And I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but when Quad was on top of Simone while Simone was hugging Heavenly, you seen Buffy sitting there on the couch in the corner, just looking like she had the I wish factor face, or not I wish factor, but the I wish face. Like, she wished she could have a bond with ladies like that. She wishes that she could be in with the group the way that they're in with each other like that. Do you know what I mean? That's the look she had on her face. It looked kind of sad, but you can't have the personality that you have and treat and talk to people the way that you do, Buffy, and hold grudges the way that you do, and not have control over your emotions and communicate the way that you do, and expect to have a bond like that with other ladies. Especially those ladies. Let me not say ladies, but let me say those particular ladies. Okay? Because that's the group of circle you're trying to get into. And you are friends with Dr. Simone. You're not friends with all of them. So if you're trying to build that bond with all of them, I'm going to need you to step your communication game up and have a little bit more self-control with your emotions. So yeah, there's that. All right. And then last but not least, okay, we have Toya. And what I love about Toya is like the light, the lighter side of the show. Like, there's some seriousness there, because they did talk about, having the miscarriage and how she felt about that, and being, coming out talking about it, even though, she went through it and felt like, she just had to come to terms and peace with it. And it was a hard thing for her to go through, which I'm pretty sure, I can only imagine that it had to be, and so they talked about that, and then they talked about, of course, the moment of the hour from the final episode, which was her house and how beautiful her house was, and talked about how, like, when they get furniture and everything, like, she's going to personally invite certain people over to the house to see the house with the furniture in it. And that's great. That's great. I'm just saying that's fantastic. But that's everybody, y'all. That's Mariah and Aiden and Simone and Cecil and Toya and Eugene, Buffy, and I forget what her husband's name is. David. David was really quiet throughout the whole season, so he didn't really say much. But Buffy and David, and then you got Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon, Quad, and being divorced from Dr. Greg, and then Contessa and her husband, Dr. Scott, and then you got Dr. Jackie and Curtis, So that's it, y'all. That was the reunion. It was a four-part reunion. One Sunday was 2 whole hours, and we'll see them back next season. So I thank y'all for joining me and hanging out with me and going over this real quick. Let me know in the comments what you thought about everybody's dresses. Like I said, if you want to see what everybody had on, and give me your own little breakdown, you can go to Dr. Heavenly's page and you can see the picture with all of them in it wearing what they wore that night at the reunion. And let me know in the comments what your predictions are for next season. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think are you ready? Do you want to hear for another season of beef between Quad and Mariah? Do you even want to see Mariah on the show? Do you think Buffy should be a permanent fixture on the show? Tell me why or why not. If you're listening to me on Reality TV, then on YouTube, I want to thank you for joining me. And if you want to subscribe, I appreciate that. And if you don't, I understand. You want to fill me out a little bit more before you hit the subscribe button. But if you do subscribe, oh no, I dropped everything. If you do subscribe, then you will definitely be able to get notifications. But if you follow me on social media, you'll be able to get notifications that way too. Sometimes we don't want to keep adding notifications, especially if you follow a lot of people on YouTube. It kind of can get overwhelming with your phone going off all day. So I ain't trying to run your battery out. You know what I mean? It's binge and rewind. And the way I be recording shows sometimes, I might record like 8 to 10 shows in one day and then upload them like little by little. So there's always going to be some kind of content. Okay, so I understand. But if you are listening to me and you are subscribed, I want to thank you. I love you. And whether you're not, I thank you and I love you too. And for those listening to me on Spotify or any other podcast platform, I want to thank you for joining me, and make sure you hit the follow button if you enjoy what you're listening to. Make sure you share and tell your friends about it. And please talk to me. I'll talk back. Let's have a conversation. I'm the homie, you the homie, and we gonna hang out and talk about this thing. All right, I love you. I'm gonna talk to you later. Bye.